Hi guys, if you want to buy the Bose Smart Dolby Atmos Soundbar, then please visit the link provided in the description. If your TV has an impressive display, but the audio still feels weak, flat, or difficult to understand, a dedicated soundbar can make a surprisingly big difference. The Bose Smart Dolby Atmos Soundbar is designed as an all-in-one solution for people who want a more immersive TV audio experience without filling the room with a complicated collection of speakers and cables. And that simplicity is one of the first things that stands out. Instead of building a complete home theater system with multiple components, you get a single soundbar designed to handle your everyday entertainment. Place it with your TV, connect it, configure it, and you have a much more capable audio system than the tiny speakers built into most modern televisions. The big feature here is Dolby Atmos. For compatible content, Dolby Atmos can create a much more spacious and three-dimensional audio presentation. Rather than making everything sound like it is coming from directly underneath or behind the television, the sound can feel more expansive and immersive. That can make movies and shows feel more engaging. Action scenes can have greater impact, background effects can feel more spacious, and music can have a wider presentation. When you're watching content specifically mixed for immersive audio, the difference can become even more noticeable. But there's another feature that could be even more useful for everyday viewing: AI dialogue mode. We've all experienced that moment when the background music and sound effects seem louder than the actual conversation. You increase the volume because you can't quite hear the characters, and then the next action sequence suddenly becomes incredibly loud. The AI dialogue mode is designed to help address that problem by making voices more distinct and easier to follow. For people who watch a lot of movies, television shows, documentaries, or other dialogue-heavy content, that can be a genuinely useful feature. The soundbar also brings smart functionality into the living room. Amazon Alexa is built in, giving you voice control capabilities without necessarily having to pick up the remote every time. It can also work as part of a compatible smart home environment. Then you have Bluetooth, AirPlay, and Spotify support. That means this isn't simply a device you turn on when you're watching television. You can also use it for music. You could be watching a movie 1 minute and streaming your favorite playlist the next, without needing a separate speaker system for your music. AirPlay provides another convenient option for compatible Apple devices, while Bluetooth gives you a straightforward wireless connection for supported devices. Spotify support adds another layer of convenience for everyday listening. And that flexibility is important because a good living room sound system should be useful beyond movies. Of course, the main reason to consider a soundbar like this is still the TV experience. Modern televisions have become incredibly thin, and while that looks great, it creates limitations for built-in speakers. There simply isn't much physical space inside a thin television for large speaker hardware. A dedicated soundbar gives the audio system more room and positions the speakers in a way that can create a broader presentation in front of you, that can make voices, music, and effects feel more connected to what's happening on the screen. Think about watching a movie with a busy action sequence. With basic TV speakers, everything can feel compressed into a relatively small area. A dedicated soundbar can make the soundstage feel wider and more substantial, helping the experience feel less like you're simply watching a television and more like you're watching a movie in a proper entertainment setup. The all-in-one approach also makes installation easier. You don't have to find locations around the room for multiple speakers. You don't need a separate receiver sitting in your entertainment center. You don't have to manage a complicated speaker arrangement just to get started. Everything is centered around the soundbar. That makes this kind of product particularly appealing for people who want a noticeable improvement without turning the setup process into a project. Of course, there is a trade-off. A dedicated all-in-one soundbar isn't the same thing as a full surround sound system with separate speakers positioned around the room. A larger multi-speaker setup can provide a more expansive surround experience, but it also requires additional equipment, additional space, more cables, and more setup. The appeal of this Bose soundbar is convenience. You get an audio upgrade while keeping the system relatively simple. And then there are the smart features. Having Alexa built, it means the soundbar can play a role beyond traditional television audio. Combined with wireless connectivity and music services, it becomes more of an everyday entertainment device rather than something that only sits underneath your TV. That's an important distinction. You're not just buying a speaker for movies. You're adding a central audio component to your living room. You can watch television, enjoy movies with Dolby Atmos compatible content, listen to music, use voice commands, and connect compatible devices wirelessly. So if you're looking for a smart all-in-one soundbar with Dolby Atmos, AI-enhanced dialogue, Alexa, Bluetooth, AirPlay, and Spotify support, the Bose Smart Dolby Atmos soundbar is certainly worth taking a closer look at. If you want to check out the product, visit the link provided in the description. Thanks for watching.